Folks, we have a lot of companies to break down on this video with little time to waste. Let's just dive into it, starting off with Block. And by the way, all these companies we're going to break down, they literally just reported earnings about 30 minutes ago. So let's see how they're doing, starting off with Block, formerly known as Square, I guess, still known as Square by a lot of people. The ticker symbol is SQ, guys, and you can see Square right here at the top left. But either way, they just reported, and we can see the stock is all over the place. Well, it initially dumped, and now it's up to $77. So you guys see the crazy volatility. It was at roughly, what was it, $74 when it closed. It shot down to 69, back to 78, or actually no, initially it went to 78, then down to 69. Now we're up to 77. So the stock is up about $3 after the bell. In other words, about 4.2%. So let's pull the live news tab and see exactly what they ended up doing, because again, they just reported earnings literally 30 minutes ago. So they missed EPS, which came in at 22 cents versus that 30-cent estimate, and they ended up beating on revenue, $4.65 billion versus $4.6 billion estimated, and Q4 subscription and services-based revenue came in at $1.31 billion, as Q4 transaction-based revenue came in at $1.47 billion. So we can see here they missed EPS by 8 cents, not the best sign, but they did beat on revenue, and you guys saw the breakdown of the the revenue, transaction-based, subscription, and services-based revenue. And let's see here, if we come up a little bit more, did we get any guidance? Looks like here gross payment volume was $53.16 billion. That's up 15% year over year. Not too bad. As Bitcoin revenue came in at $1.83 billion. And I'm not too familiar with the the financials off the top of my head right now. Sure, I've looked at the annual report, I've looked at the numbers in the past, but it's been a while. But I can pretty much guarantee you, this is again not 100% guaranteed, but I'm pretty positive Q4 Bitcoin revenue coming in at $1.83 billion. That's got to be down a ton from last year, maybe even from the year, well, for sure, from the year before that. So Bitcoin revenue is down, and that's one of the main, well, it came in at 1.83. I'm assuming it's down. And that's one of my main criticisms here with this company. If you buy this as a long-term investment, well, you're pretty much putting your money in something that has a lot of its revenue coming from Bitcoin. That's a turnoff to a lot of people. Not saying I completely hate Bitcoin or crypto for that matter. I'm not a big crypto guy. You guys probably know that. I have a little bit of Bitcoin. I sold most of it a while ago, and I don't plan on buying it anytime soon. I might buy it again if the price is right. Who knows? But in my opinion, it's more of a speculation, but we're not going to argue about that. And again, it kind of turns off people that maybe want to invest in the other aspects of the business that Square has. They have so much in Bitcoin revenue, I'm just going to stay away from it, right? That's how a lot of people are thinking. So that's one of my main criticisms, and who knows what's going to happen with Bitcoin. I know a lot of Bitcoin maximalists out there, and it's funny. Have you guys noticed a lot of these people? It's so funny how people ride the wave, and then when the bubble pops, everybody doesn't want to talk about it anymore, right? There were so many Bitcoin maximalists on Twitter, all across social media with the laser eyes. How many laser eyes do you see anymore? That just goes to show how fake a lot of these people are, which we're not going to get into that, open that whole can of worms. There's a lot of people that I could call out, but I'm not going to do that, guys. That's not what this channel's for. But you guys probably can name a few, thinking about it. And I'm not a complete Bitcoin hater, but it's just so funny how people ride the wave, and then when everything crashes and burns, they just run away, and they pretend like, oh, I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist, right? Yeah, come on, a bunch of BS, right? But either way, that's my main criticism on Square. And right now, the fact that it's breaking 75, that's a good sign, considering that was resistance, all of September throughout pretty much the middle of January. So that's a good sign for the bulls. And I'm looking at this obviously as a trade, not as an investment, like I just, because of what I just said. But yeah, as long as it holds above these moving averages, above 75, 76, it looks pretty decent. We'll see if the momentum continues. We also had Carvana. Let's pull up Carvana, guys, and see what's going on here. This company ended up reporting after the bell today, and it does not look like it's doing much. It's up a little bit. Actually, it initially shot to $11.12. That was a big pump of about 10%. and it shot down to about $9.30. Now it's back to $10.30. So there's a little bit of volatility here after the bell with Carvana, and we'll look at the chart in a second. But first, let's see what they ended up doing. They missed on sales, $2.84 billion versus the $3.09 billion estimated, and it looks like here EPS, are they losing money or what? Where the heck is this? I'm sure they're losing money. Carvana expected to post wider Q4 loss than expected, but what was it the actual loss? Either way, they missed revenue. I'm assuming, oh, wait a second. Here it is. They lost $7.61 on the quarter. That is just horrible. Looks like Q4 retail units sold 84 or 86,000 rather, almost 87,000. That's down 23%. So, yeah, business over at Carvana is struggling right now. You guys know vehicles, used vehicles especially, they just got in a bubble. A lot of things got in a bubble, and that just popped. And a lot of people are not purchasing as many vehicles as they were a year, maybe 2 years ago. That's just the reality of the matter. And I'm actually glad that not electric vehicles, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. I'm glad regular used vehicles, I mixed the words up there, guys, I'm glad that their prices are coming down. It's about time. It was not sustainable. What we saw where you could go buy a used car, drive it for a year or two, then make a profit on it, that is not normal. That is not normal unless you're you're driving an exotic car that has a very limited quantity where it goes up in value over time. That's a different case. And most people watching this video, myself included, don't have an exotic car, so that does not apply to us. I had and I still have a Corolla, guys, and this thing went up in value more than what I bought it, and I could have sold it for a profit after driving it for 2 years already. It just did not make sense. So now we're seeing, again, this stock is up after the bell. Nothing crazy, but it is moving a little bit, and we are right at a big support right now, right by the 180 SMA here, right by, what is this, $10? So if we do crank out of this point, and if we zoom in a little bit here, you guys can see how hot this thing got. It got to $20 a couple weeks ago, which is insane, and it was just $3, so a lot of money was made on this thing, a lot of manipulation as well. If this thing breaks out of $11, $12, there could be a round 2 coming on Carvana. All it has to do is break out of that wedge. So that's Carvana. Let's pull up Mercado Libre very quickly, guys. This is moving. Look at that. It closed up 1.6 on the day, and now it's up another roughly 5% after the bell. They ended up doing, let me pull this up here, Q4 EPS of $3.25 on revenue of $3 billion. That beat the $2.49 EPS estimate and revenue of $2.96 billion estimate, so double beat there for Mercado Libre. And it looks like here, estimate, I'm not seeing any estimates, but double beat, and it looks like they did get a profit on the quarter, which were they not profitable in the last quarter? I don't remember actually. No, they've been profitable, but the fact that they're maintaining this profitability now, that's a very good sign for this company. And look at this. I mean, we ended up pulling back from $12.50 down to about $1100. Now it looks like we're, getting buyers at that point. We're bouncing off that old resistance from the middle of August. That's a very good sign. We're starting to take, make a big move here. So the next one is Warner Brothers Discovery. Let me pull this up and take a look. Warner Brothers ended up reporting, let's see here, they lost 86 cents on the quarter, which missed the negative 20 cent. Not good. But we also, I was going to say, hopefully they beat on revenue. That's why I said but they did not beat on revenue, guys. 11.01 billion, which missed the 11.36, so double miss there for WBD. And do we have anything on guidance? Not seeing anything here on guidance. And funny enough, the stock is flat. You would think, after a double miss, it's going to fall. That's not the case. It looks like it is starting to make a move. It's at $15.80. We're approaching that $16 resistance from back in, when was this? A couple of weeks ago, I believe. You guys see that? So if we can end up breaking out of $16, we have an ascending triangle. We start popping above that point. There could be another leg up. I know it sounds crazy after the double miss, but it's reality. We might be able to get a pop above that $16 level. So that's WBD. What else do we have? Beyond Meat, which you guys know I've been very critical of this company. Beyond Meat just reported, and look at that. Holy crap. It's up to $19.50. It is up 14%. Jeez Louise. So let's pull the live news up and see what's going on. They ended up doing negative $1.05 EPS, so they lost money, which beat the negative $1.18 estimate. So they beat that. And sales also beat almost 80 million, which beat the 75.69 million estimate. And it looks like here they guide for full year 23 revenue of about 375 to 415 million versus the 391 million estimate. So that's pretty good. And you guys know I'm not going to buy this as a long-term investment. There's no shot, but as a trade, I would consider it if the setup was right. And by the looks of it, guys, we're now breaking big levels of resistance. Looks like we now took out roughly 1820. That was a big one. This could be going to 21 bucks. Maybe it ends up taking that high out, which 21 bucks was the high from the beginning of this month of February. So this looks good. This looks pretty good. The trend does, at least the chart. Maybe not so the fundamentals, but the chart looks pretty good. And we also have Intuit, which is the last company, at least for today, guys, that we're going to talk about in terms of earnings. Intuit also reported, and it looks like here it is down a little bit, barely. It actually shot up to 420. Now it's at 412. So it is down, or actually pretty much break even after the bell. So they did adjusted EPS of $2.20, which beat the $1.44. So that crushed. And revenue also beat by a nice margin, $3.04 billion versus $2.90 billion estimated. Not too bad there for Intuit. And they see Q3 adjusted EPS of $8.42 to $8.49 versus $8.92. So guidance is a little bit under there for adjusted EPS, which isn't the best sign. And revenue growth, they see about 8-9% revenue growth versus, I'm not sure what the guidance is on that, but that's not too bad. So look, the stocks break even, like I said, and if I pull the 4-hour chart up, you're going to see the wedge that we're in, lower highs, higher lows at the same time. So, and at this point, we're breaking up to the 50 SMA. We're testing it. So what are we going to do at 420? You know, are we going to retest that high from after the bell today? Maybe break out of it? If so, there could be a big move coming to the top of this wedge. Maybe it goes up 435, maybe towards 445, 450. So this does not look too bad, you know, if it breaks 420. If it breaks 420, guys, big if there. My alert set, we'll see if it ends up happening. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We went over a bunch of stocks in this video, and not so much the markets because we covered them earlier. I don't want to just talk about the same crap all the time. So make sure you guys go check out that previous video titled S&P 500 Analysis, and, you know, you'll see more of an analysis on the markets there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Maybe we can do one more stock. Let's do an update on NVIDIA. Did this thing cool off at all or what? Or it went up 14%. Yeah, this thing did not cool off. My goodness, it uptrended all day. It held strong even as the markets pulled back in the morning. So this is one that I think is overbought. I feel like it's due for a pullback, but it might not be tomorrow, guys. That pullback might not even come next week for all we know. We're gonna have to be patient. We're gonna wait and see how this thing ends up reacting. And yeah, I mean, if it goes 245, 250, maybe this blow off top rally continues, guys. You're going to have to be, you know, very careful at that point, at least in my personal opinion. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, of course, feel free to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more stock market content, daily breakdowns like these, earnings, releases, stuff like that, guys, chart breakdowns. We're doing this multiple times a day, so make sure you all subscribe. Don't forget to also get some free money from Moomoo if you want. Up to 15 stocks from Moomoo, each up to $2,000. Details are linked down below. And you guys could also get up to 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. And if you guys want to join the Patreon to see the Patreon portfolio, build that with me. You want to join the Discord chat. You want to see additional charts throughout the day. You know, my writing like I'm an author or something. but my thoughts throughout the day, you know, in chart form. That's on the Patreon, guys, down below. I'll see you all later. Peace out.